Joining me is award-winning actor Karen Holness, and she's back on the show to talk about her Leo Award nomination for her role in Torn Dark Bullets. And she's also going to be talking about what's next for her. Welcome, Karen.
Oh, thank you, Christine. I'm so happy to be here. Nice to see you.
Yes, likewise, virtually, right?
Yeah.
Congratulations on your Leo Award nomination. Is this your first Leo nominee?
This is my first Leo nomination, and I am stoked. It's pretty wonderful. I mean, you hear it all the time. People say it's just nice to be nominated, but it is. It's quite an extraordinary thing to be acknowledged, to be acknowledged by your peers.
Yes, and this year it's not in person. But you've been to Leo Awards. It's such an amazing event. It's like a family, if I may say.
Yeah, it's very fun. Very fun because you get to see everybody, maybe you get to see them sprinkled here and there at an audition or whatever. Maybe you bump into somebody at, I don't know, Best Buy. Corinne Clark at Best Buy in the depths of quarantine. We're like, oh my God, it's just nice to see people. It's nice to see you in these crazy times. But yeah, it's very wonderful to have this nomination.
I have to ask you, when you heard that you were nominated, what was the first thing you felt? Did you go, what was it?
Oh, wow. It seems like a little while ago, but honestly, the first wave, there's many feelings, but I guess the first wave of feelings is just wow. And a gratefulness that I did pour everything I had into this role. Well, if I'm being honest, my whole organism was really against me going to these dark places that Amani Bell had to go to in this role. And so what things started to happen, like I became, my skin was, it's what we'd say, when you have immune, there are things that happen with your body when your immune starts to get compromised a little bit. So I would, my skin, I became allergic to my silver rings and many other things that maybe I don't need to talk about. But I went to a naturopath in order to actually get some supplements and things that would fortify my system to be able to go through that, what Amani had to go through. Pretty much poured as much as I could muster into that role. So it was just really wonderful to have that be acknowledged. And I did it because of the responsibility I felt for anyone who might have had to go through such a dark circumstance. I wanted to make sure that I did my best to represent the story and have the story be told to the best of my ability.
What did it really take for you to get into the role? Was it like a team, the director, Dan Rizzuto, and it took a whole team?
I guess it's from a creative standpoint that I really stayed in the open space, the open creative space of going, what do I need? What do I need to go here? What do I need to call on? Yeah, it was an intensive process. It was layers and layers and layers and days and days and days of just really experimenting and trying different things to see what I thought would bring the most layers and add the most to the story.
Karen, was this one of your most challenging roles?
Oh, yeah, I would say the most challenging. Emotionally, mentally, physically, all the levels. I've done some other roles that might have been more challenging material-wise, in that there was just a lot of material to retain and get through. We did shoot I think the whole movie was shot in 14 days, and all of the scenes that were done in the home, we shot in 8 days. So that was also a challenge to get through that amount of material within that time. But yeah, Amani Bell is definitely the most intense role that I have encountered to date.
What do you want people to take away from the film?
Well, Christine, we shot this film in 2018, so the end of December of 2018. So that was a year and a half approximately from when it was released, and it was released 3 weeks prior to George Floyd's death. And that timing was fortuitous. I don't know. And it just kind of like brought you through it even yet again, and even more, that injustice that lives with racism. And so
I've seen the film, and it's very, very deep, it stirs emotions, and its feedback is enormous, right? And can you tell us the feedback from the film?
I guess the first thing that comes to mind is that we were acknowledged at 14 different film festivals around the world. And so that was such an honor to get that acknowledgement from Australia and Holland and the United States, even for some of the film festivals. So that was some really great acknowledgement there. But yeah, I can't say that I've seen any personal specific things other than film festivals, but that is quite incredible acknowledgement. Very important to me to have honored the mothers that have suffered a loss. It's such a horrible thing to lose a child, but to lose them under such tragic circumstances is a next level of unspeakable horror. So anyway, that was something that in moments, I might have had a few moments where I was like, I don't know if I can go through this. This is really hard. But I think because it was such a challenge, I felt as an artist that I had to do it. And as a person of color telling the story, that I also had to do it. So I am glad that I listened to those instincts and followed through, and was part of this film. This film being part of telling the story, and this film does mean quite a lot to me. So it's wonderful to be having these acknowledgements from the Leo Awards and the UBCP Awards, as well as many of the other film festivals around the world.
Wonderful, Karen. Thank you. And so what is next for you?
There are many things coming up for me. I'm still, just in the mix. Just yesterday, as a matter of fact, there is a Cinderella story, Starstruck, a Cinderella story, that's coming out on HBO Max. And I had my first chance to watch it, and it is hilarious. Of course, it is geared towards a younger audience, unlike Torn. But it's very fun, and I was just blown away with the talent in this movie. Very comedic, very funny, very entertaining group of people. One of the most talented cast I've worked with. Young, up and coming comedians, so inspirational. There's also a Lifetime MOW called Dying to Belong. And I have a feeling that I couldn't find it on IMDb. I have a feeling that the name is being changed, but I got to work with one of my favorite directors, Gail Harvey. And so I'm looking forward to that coming out. And you had mentioned, the 27-hour day. And that was quite a beautiful experience shooting that. Again, one of my favorite directors, David Winning, and an amazing cast. And the storyline was that the lead lady was an efficiency blogger, and trying to get, as much as you can into 24 hours. So they call it 27 hours, the 27-hour day. And then she burns out. So she has to go on a retreat. And that's where she meets all of us, which was wonderful because we got to shoot predominantly in Harrison Hot Springs, around there in Agassiz, and some beautiful locations. So it was nice. And it was right at the time that we were not allowed to travel in this province. Unless no unessential travel. So it was nice to just have a change of scenery, and work with some beautiful people in some beautiful spaces.
That's wonderful. And tell us about your role of Secrets of a Gold Digger Killer.
Yeah. So, had to be the lawyer. I think that was my third or fourth role as a lawyer. Quite enjoy it. One of the first times I actually had to be a trial lawyer, I wanted to do some research. So I actually went down to the provincial courts and sat in on a trial. And it just so happened to be a murder trial. And it was so intense. My number one takeaway was, I am grateful to play a lawyer on TV. Wow. That was a whole other level of intense. So, but I learned quite a lot. Wow. Nothing like actually being in the space, that there are certain nuances that you can't get from imagining it or pretending to be it, that you get from actually being in the space. So that was very fun to do that research.
Yeah. So research is important, right? To really get into character. And you've also been in The Art of Racing in the Rain.
Oh,
that's a
beautiful, beautiful movie. Yeah. I love that movie. And I was fortunate enough to have two separate groups of friends go with me to the theater. So it was like 10 or 12 of us, two separate times. And one of my dear friends, Candace, she's a lawyer. And speaking of lawyers, and I do actually call her for advice when I am playing lawyers. But she was, within 5 minutes, she was just a little bit moist. So she was upset at me. She's like, why did you tell me that it was this intense? Not intense, but it's just so heartfelt. That she's not used to showing emotions in public, as it were, unlike us actors who are always very living closer to our emotions.
Yes. I mean, is there a role you would like to play? Like, I don't know, a veterinarian, or I don't know, or not.
Well, I got in The Art of Racing in the Rain. So that was lovely. Yeah. Yes. There are so many. I love high drama. I love comedy. I love sci-fi. I love it all. So Emily Barnes is an actress that I think of all the time when I think of the kind of career, because she does the high comedy, with Melissa McCarthy in Spy. What is it? With all of the SNL alumni, she's in a lot of those movies, but then she will do drama as well. You'll find her in very dramatic roles. And of course she has an iconic role in the X-Men series. So I just love her versatility, and being able to just seamlessly go to all of these genres, and I think it's a testament to her talent that she can be in a very high dramatic Oscar-winning movie and deliver a wonderful performance, as well as, wow, her performance in Spy was just hilarious. I watched it like 4 times because she cracks me up.
Oh, wow. Karen, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Maybe I do want to add a special shout out to Sam Vincent for his role in Torn. His level of dedication was next level, that, he pretty much had to, not pretty much, he definitely had to play the villain. And he gave it everything. Even to one point, he had to take a minute and just breathe for a while, because it was getting to him having to play this role. So bless you, and congratulations on all of your wins and acknowledgements as well, Sam Vincent, and the entire cast. Everyone was on point, and Dan Rizzuto, thank you for providing the space during the shooting for us to be able to find whatever we needed to find to do the best job to represent these people and these circumstances. So many feelings. I'm so grateful that we're heading out of COVID. And I'm looking forward to meeting with people again. I'm so excited for the Leo Awards. I can't wait to see the night and how, of course, they have to manage it virtually. So looking forward to life getting back to normal. And I'm really grateful to be seeing you, Christine, and hanging out, even if it is by Zoom.
Yeah, likewise, Karen. I'd love to do another interview with you in, maybe 6 months. And
you got it. Got it.
Yeah.
Anytime. Yeah, it's lovely to speak with you. You inspire me to open up, Christine.
Well, you inspire me too. And I'm just so grateful for Leslie Diana connecting us. And thank you for your time.